Today is a practice and training day for the Oakleigh Motorcycle Club in preparation for next weekend's big national competition in Nuriootpa in South Australia. Unlike most other forms of motorcycle sport, Moto Trials is not racing. It's simply you and your bike pitted against the terrain. Moto Trials is a sport of balance, skill and concentration. One at a time, competitors will ride over an obstacle course of boulders, streams, hill climbs, logs, drop-offs and nearly anything else you can find. Moto Trials is the world's most popular participatory motorcycle sport. In Australia, about 1,000 riders compete. In Europe, hundreds of thousands compete regularly. Moto Trials riders compete in all weather conditions. There are classes for everyone, from juniors of 16 years of age down to barely walking, through to veterans from 40 to 70 plus. There are classes to cover all rider ability levels, with expert A, B and C and clubman and novice levels. There are also classes for masters 35 plus. Other classes include sidecar, post-classic and classic. While it is spectacular and sometimes appears dangerous at the top level, it is a very safe sport. Speed and other competitors are not factors likely to cause accidents, so the sport remains very safe. Very few injuries sustained due to the low speeds and, one at a time, use of sections by competitors. Riders in top classes attempt seemingly impossible obstacles and in the process perform some of the most amazing skilled and trick riding, including air turns, bunny hops and bouncing the front and rear wheels during turns. Moto Trials is the only motorcycling sport that you compete in at Masters Games level. The bikes are specially made high-tech machines, very light, around about 70 kilograms, low seat height and lots of power. They are usually single-cylinder, liquid-cooled engines, about 250cc. They have lots of ground clearance and suspension travel, hydraulic disc brakes front and rear. Tyres are super soft compound and run tyre pressures at about 4 to 6 psi. They are very similar to the bikes ridden by world champion riders such as Tony Bow. Modern trial bikes are mostly manufactured in Europe, but makes such as Gas, Beta, Scorpa, Montesa and Sherco. Honda and Yamaha also manufacture modern trials bikes. Although new models cost around $8,000 to $11,000, you don't need a new bike to start riding and enjoying yourself. Second-hand models with a monoshock rear suspension front disc brake can be bought for around $1,400 to $2,500. A section is a typically taped out area of natural terrain incorporating obstacles such as rocks, creeks, muds, tree stumps, etc. Different colour markers within the section to determine the passage through the section a particular graded rider must take. For example, an A grade rider will ride between two red markers, B grade follow yellow markers and C grade blue markers. Clubman riders do not need to follow any markers and can choose any line through the section. The higher the grade, the more difficult the line, of course. Scoring: a rider earns 1 point each time he or she puts a foot down, a dab. After 3 points in any one section, the rider may continue to dab or stop without incurring any more points. If the rider falls off or stalls the bike with the feet on the ground, or if the bike moves backwards, they are given 5 points. At the end of each lap, the section scores a total to give a lap score. When the rider completes the designated number of laps, a total score is tallied. The rider with the lowest score is the winner. A typical course consists of 8 to 15 sections spread over an area of varied terrain, with riders competing 4 or 5 laps. Costs: in the clubman class, you can compete on nearly any off-road bike. Trials tyres, which have a soft compound and provide a great grip, are a good start. Price, style and make of model are up to you. You will, however, find the specialist trials bike is needed once a rider progresses from the clubman class. Other costs: you need to be a member of an affiliated motorcycle club, around about $50 a year. Entry fee for each trial about $50. You need a one event competition licence, $75, or an MA restricted national competition licence at $175 per year, or an MA national competition licence at $270 a year. So with some basic riding gear, helmets, boots, gloves, you could be riding for less than $2,000. The sport of motor trials is by far the safest and cheapest form of motorsport. At the same time, we doubt you'll believe the places a bike can go. So if you're looking for excitement, take a look at a trial. You won't believe what you see.